The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised. What was that about wet the bed? Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Kansas City, a Domain Divided. I am, of course, the storyteller, Shanky McStabber.
And I am Mama McStabber, and I am playing Dr. Katerina Rakosi of Clan Zamitsi.
I'm Dale, and I'm playing Callum McFarlane of Clan Ventru.
I'm Ree, and I'm playing Rashad Giovanni of the Hakata.
I'm House. I play Bo Solomon of Clan Toreador.
Hi, I'm Mischievous Red. I'm playing Gwen Schultz of the Ministry.
And first of all, let me welcome everybody to the Season 1 finale of our Kansas City, a Domain Divided. It's been a wild ride already. Well, what happened last episode? Well, Rashad was not party to this because he knew some bad shit was going to go down. So, of course, he avoided what has been described as adult Home Alone or Home Alone with more violence or murder Home Alone. As they went up against the blackmailer's house, he had an array of traps. He sent out some ghouled up rabid dogs at him. There was even a guy in a gimp suit with a meat cleaver. Enough said on all that part. They did end up killing, Gwen ended up killing the blackmailer using a silence of death and unseen passage to get behind him while he was holding one of Callum's people hostage. Gwen conveniently sliced his throat rather than allow him to harm anyone further.
It was hot.
But as we're opening up tonight, it's been a few days. It's been a few days since the last time we've seen this group. Things have calmed down a little bit. And we're going to open up at Callum and Bo's restaurant as it's evening and getting ready for the dinner rush. And we're going to open up on Callum and Bo. I assume you're not speaking in the kitchen itself, but in one of the offices, in the back office, or maybe even the supply room. But I'm going to turn it over to you two to have your conversation.
Bo would probably enter saying, we're all prepped for service tonight. Need anything from me?
I don't think so. Got in some new wine today. Just trying that. Should probably check it out when you get an opportunity.
I can do that. Just so we're clear, we're good from the other day. I just needed some time.
I've worked with you long enough to know that that's the preferred tack to take?
I know you'd sent that note about, the gun, and that was an accident. A very debilitating accident nonetheless, but that shit like that happens. I was more just taken aback.
Just give me a heads up. Just when you put up your heightened senses,
of course.
just give me a heads up.
Still, shooting a big ass gun like that in close quarters, probably good rule of thumb. Be careful. But anyway,
I'm going to check into a suppressor.
Would probably have to be a big ass suppressor.
They are.
No, it was. I think I was more taken aback. That's just not a side I've seen from you. I know someone we're close with, you're especially close with, was put in harm's way, especially because of our doing, or at least indirectly due to our doing. Let's just say I wasn't expecting you to be so direct. And it caught me off guard.
I just feel that no one's worse off for that piece of garbage being gone. You, me, probably anyone they associate with, family, friends. That piece of garbage is best no longer breathing.
You're probably right, but
I'll treat anybody with that same level of contempt and disregard that messes with any of our family.
He was a broken man, and maybe there was no coming back from it, but we can't forget that for every one of you or the people we are close with, there is a lot of Vances out there. And he was a casualty of his actions towards his daughter and a lot of other daughters out there. I'm not saying what you did was wrong. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Just that whole night really, I don't know, surprised me.
How I felt about dogs in life, Bo.
Oh yeah. It's just, since what happened to us has happened to us, and I mean this change, not everything's so black and white.
Sometimes it is for me.
And that's something I'm learning.
I'm just glad we're good.
We are.
It's been a little quiet. No jokes for 3 days is not acceptable.
Well, I mean, the ringing in my ear lasted quite a while.
And I'm really, really sorry about that.
Like I said, water under the bridge.
All right.
Until I need to brag on you about something, and then I'll bring it up out of nowhere because, that's how this works. But no, we're good. And again, you're right. He needed to be put down. It's just, we can't forget why. We can't forget what broke him.
I will say this. I know that this new life has changed us, but continue to call me out when you're questioning my humanity.
Same goes for you. We're partners for a reason.
Indeed.
I'm going to get back, make sure, try triple check everything.
Try the wine. I'll have Ashton bring some to the kitchen so everyone can try.
For sure. Thanks, Callum.
So as the evening begins with Bo doing what he loves best, even as a kindred, working in the kitchen. Callum doing what he loves best, which is out in the front of the place, managing the guests and circulating. It's about an hour after the dinner server starts that you see Kat come in with her. Is a man appears to be mid-40s. Two younger people. You can see the resemblance between Kat and her and the man with her. One, a boy, well, a man really, in his 30s, right around that time frame. And a young woman looked to be around mid-20s. All of them bear that same resemblance. You can see they even all have that intensity you see with Kat's eyes many nights as they come into the place, Callum.
Kat, so good to see you. I'm glad you brought your family in.
Callum, pleasure. This Alex, this is Callum McFarlane.
I feel like I already know him. And he reaches his hand out to shake your hand.
And this is
shake his as well.
My son, Mikkel, and my daughter, Willa.
And the two of them aren't quite as touchy-feely, I guess I'll put it, as Alex is. But they both smile and nod. I've heard many good things about you. It's nice to finally meet you in person.
Very, very nice to meet you all. And I've got the chef's table set up. You can get a good look at the kitchen.
Perfect.
Bo can take good care of you there. And
as you show us to the table, Kat will actually lean over and whisper, "It's actually Alex's birthday tonight."
We'll make sure something special comes out.
Excellent. Thank you.
And Bo, you see Kat, and you assume it's her family based on the way they all, the resemblance as they sit down in the chef's table as Callum has brought him over. Your friend has a nice place.
Yeah. I'm wanting to check it out because I'm thinking I might want to do I've been talking to you about Sally's place, and I think this might be a good spot for a fundraiser.
I mean, we could definitely, we could pack it in, get something together for here in Kansas.
Yeah.
We need to start raising attention to. I know you try not to raise too much attention, but we have our own little things that we're passionate about that we need to
Exactly.
to bring out.
Exactly. And if we can help people in the community doing it, we should.
Okay, I'm looking here at this menu. I've noticed something. How come none of the dishes have garlic listed? Doesn't this usually come with a garlic sauce and it not? Did I say something funny?
I believe the chef has an aversion to it.
Now, come on, Kat. You told me that's not, it's not real. I know.
Well, sometimes you can believe something so strongly that it becomes real for you.
Learn something new every day.
But it sounds very interesting with the white wine sauce.
Yeah, it does. I'll probably get that. We don't get to go out as a group, as a family.
It's so
and
rare that
he glares over at your son and daughter. Everyone seems to think their schedules are so busy.
Kids, thank you so much for making sure you were off for tonight.
And your son, it's not. I mean, I just had to shuffle a little bit.
Yeah.
And your daughter looks over. Well, see, Dad, it wouldn't be a problem if all of us weren't doctors. And you can hear your husband rolling his eyes. And so the two of you, or the four of you actually,
Yeah, the four.
have begin to go through
And we place our orders and
Right.
Yep.
And Bo, you see them, they order the food. You're not sure what they were talking about when he was pointing at the menu.
I would have had my heightened senses up. I would have known.
Oh, you would have heard it? Okay, you would have heard that comment. That's even better.
Yeah.
It does help in the kitchen to have heightened senses on. You can makes it really easy to hear the orders coming through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially at the chef's table. I'm everything is
Right there. Yeah.
fine tuned. Yeah.
And it's clear that Bo has trained the staff well in the kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
as the service seems to be going on without any kind of hitch.
Yeah. And being that it's the chef's table, I would be kind of putting on the show,
Absolutely.
taking lead, putting on the show. Doctors Rakosi, and of course, the beautiful and no less impressive Willa Rakosi. Thank you so much for joining us. Your mother has told me so much about you. Your orders are on their way. If you'd like to get up close, see them being prepared, feel free. Anything I can get you in the meantime while you wait for your meals to come.
And Willa, I'm looking forward to this because back in Chicago, one of the food critics had written one hell of a glowing review about the food you put on. So I expected to live up to it because obviously you know what you're doing in here.
Oh, of course. And I would expect no different if you had an issue, knowing you as your mother's daughter to let me know. I say that with kind of a tongue-in-cheek little wry smile.
And Mikkel looks up at you. Well, just so you know, I'm a yelper. And then he gets a grin on his face. Just kidding.
You've been watching too much South Park.
I step up behind Bo and I point over to a side table, and you see Matt, our sommelier. He's setting out a bunch of glassware, and Katerina, he brings over some of the bottles to show you as they're starting to place the wine glasses on the table, and you see a lot of older Romanian wines.
Excellent.
So we had a distributor come in. These will be paired nicely with what Bo is preparing you this evening.
And Kat actually picks a very rich spiced red from the selection. And lets her family pick what they wish.
Please pour healthy pours. Did I hear you potentially wanting to talk about utilizing the space in the future, Katerina?
Yes, actually.
Well, as you know, and as Callum knows, things fill up pretty quickly. So maybe we should talk about that now. Mr. McFarland, would you mind taking Katerina's family on a tour of the restaurant? It's going to be a little bit, our food is art. It takes a little bit. We want to make sure everything is to order.
Of course.
Would you mind showing them around briefly?
And Alex gets a look on his face. He's used to these kind of situations.
Yeah.
And so him and Mikkel and Willa get up. We'd be honored to go with you, Mr. McFarland.
Thank you so much, Callum.
And the four of you set off. I'm always going to miscount the people.
That's okay.
As Kat and Bo have a time to speak together.
So, Sally's place is what I'm wanting to do. It's going to be a safe house for trans youth and young adults that don't have anywhere else to go.
Of course. I mean, that,
And it is going to be something that's not just a place for them to stay. There's going to be coordinators there that will help connect them with resources and services so that they can actually have a chance.
I mean, of course, we'll make that work. Not a problem. And not to be dismissive of that, because knowing you will put your heart and soul in that. It's been a few days and we have not spoken a word to each other. And I figured that needed to change.
Okay.
Have
a seat, Bo. so we can look each other in the eye.
Yeah, I will go back from the kitchen to the table, pour myself a glass, raise it.
She raises hers.
I'll say, to honesty.
Absolutely. I prefer it.
First, I'm sorry how I reacted after that night. I was not proud of myself how I handled things.
I am sorry that I grew impatient and that I did not trust you.
I appreciate that. Forgive me if I say something you don't already know. That is not my intent, but I feel like if I don't say it, I don't want to hold on to this.
That's fine. Throw it at me.
You admittedly were in a position where you needed to calm yourself down. And I felt like, especially with dealing with a, for lack of a better term, volatile prince, because his moods are
indeed
such. While your bluntness ended up working, it very well could have had the opposite effect.
I understand.
And all's well that potentially ends well. I'm not trying to say what came of that was not a net positive. As you said, it felt like you didn't trust me to get there in the end.
And to be honest, I didn't. I felt like that prince is a master manipulator as well. Mm-hmm. And that he was taking you for a ride.
I was letting him.
And that's what I didn't realize. And that's why I didn't trust. I made assumptions, and I was incorrect in those assumptions. So I do apologize.
I appreciate that.
I am honestly learning so much each and every time I spend time with any of you. I've been alone for 20 years.
Oh, I can relate. I can relate to that very easily.
Ever since I became like this, I was alone.
Oh, before I came like this, that was my life. It was when I met, I've been with people more now since the change, ironically. But before that, it was me.
I appreciate you coming and talking with me directly.
That's, again, I know you better than you may think. Because
I'm seeing this.
and I hate saying this. I think you've even mentioned, like, I have a way of centering you. And I had a similar conversation with Callum earlier today. That night, I felt so out of my depth that when I was in a moment where I felt like I had some control and then it was taken away, I snapped a little bit.
And I understood the moment you did. It's nothing that I wouldn't have done if the same had happened.
I'm glad we're on the same page there.
Absolutely.
For what it's worth,
I wasn't angry that you snapped at me. I felt immediately bad that I had overstepped.
Then let's say now water under the bridge. For what it's worth, I still trust and we still need you.
Oh, absolutely. Y'all do. But I'm learning to play well along with others slowly, but I'm getting there. Yeah, no.
Let's just say sometimes my words can be sharp as your nails.
I love it. I love it. I will never be even remotely offended by it. For real, Bo. You can be as brutally honest with me as you need to be.
And that's why we're sitting here.
Yeah.
But,
because I would much rather take your ire, if I deserve it, than you to flower shit up and bullshit me.
And like I told Callum, I expect the same back.
Absolutely.
I can take
you
it.
wouldn't get anything less from me.
Oh, well, yes. Of course.
It's one of my more endearing traits, I hear. But truly,
we're lucky that night didn't go worse. We were on a
it went
tightrope.
bad enough. Okay, it went bad enough. I mean, my God, I had to.
We leaned about as far off the tightrope as we could without falling off.
I have my own issues with things from that night. I didn't go in there wanting to kill that guy.
And I wasn't expecting to have to.
But I'm so grateful that you thought to intervene with his family.
To be honest, I was afraid what you might have done to them.
I would have never laid a hand on them. But that doesn't mean that I still didn't cause trauma or terror to them based on my appearance and my demeanor.
I didn't know how much control you had at that point is where I'm coming from.
I have a very targeted rage.
Okay.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good to learn.
Yeah. I was highly upset by him sending innocent animals as fodder.
Oh, yeah. And that's what really put Callum over the edge, too.
And on top of that, he had been absolutely torturing a ghoul.
Right.
And then starting to torture one of y'all's people.
Yeah. And I don't love the fact that I'm even trying to come to this man's defense because he really does not deserve it.
I still was willing to let him live if I thought he could have been redeemed. If he could have gotten some help. And
he was too far broken.
But he was too far. And I understand the desire to want to advocate for someone that seems a lost cause. I get it. I do. It's in my nature too.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, he had become a bigger monster than most of us are.
And it took me a few days to really come to terms with that.
Yeah. And that is a part of spending time as this existence. You begin to realize, yes, there are some really fucking monstrous versions of us, but there's also humans that are fully capable because guess what? We were once human too.
Right.
And I've had a little more time than you, but I've been around long enough.
I was going to say, you've been in this world longer than I have.
Yeah, even when I was alive, I was in this world.
I think among the five of us, I am the freshest.
Yeah, but it's something that you will learn over more and more existence because some just can't be saved from themselves.
Right.
Some are just truly monsters. And it is best to give them mercy and release them from it. And I'm appreciative that Gwen did that.
Yeah, Gwen ending the man swiftly, I had no issue with. I'm curious of your thought on how she used her skills to provoke the prince into revealing truths. I think learning the information is useful. I
think it is a dangerous game she plays at times.
Exactly.
But I'm not her mother.
No. And I mean, in all honesty, I'm glad she's on our side.
Yeah, exactly. Because
glad she's on our side.
When she weaponizes her stuff, it is very dangerous.
Scary.
Yeah. Oh, it can be. Manipulators are incredibly scary.
I think at the end of the day, for me, it came down to just seeing the look on that mother and daughter's face that
I get you.
Won't go away for a while.
I get you. And hold on to that. Honestly, that's the part of you that's still human.
Yeah.
I am not so detached.
No,
But I'm
please.
letting you know, I'm not so detached that doesn't impact me too. I am so grateful that you intervened with them.
And please don't think I think you're all you are your
My
physical prowess.
I know, but I do it because it doesn't seem like anyone else in the group really can.
I'm a twig.
It's not my preferred method of dealing with stuff, but I'll do what needs to be done.
I hear how you talk about your family, regardless of what is actually beating through us or not actually beating. I know you have love for them.
More than anything. I would burn the earth for them. But first I have to kill my brother. So,
we have a lot more in common than I think you realize.
I'm sure we do. Family's just complicated.
Well, looks like your food is about ready. I'm glad we had this talk. I feel better.
And she reaches out and she takes Bo's hand and she gives it a gentle squeeze, and you actually feel she's warm. She's using blush of life in this situation. I am too, Bo. And don't ever think you can't talk to me.
I wouldn't be here if I thought that.
Seriously, even if you're still hot about something, you can still talk to me then too. I can take it.
I know. But I'm glad I had these couple of days. It might have been a very different conversation.
Yeah.
2 days ago.
Yeah, and of course, if you need time, I'm not going to pressure you. So.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Likewise.
And as Bo, you get up, you see Callum coming back over with Kat's family. You notice Rashad has come into the restaurant. Callum, you being Callum, you noticed as he come through the door. What you didn't realize was, though you see her now, you never saw Gwen come in.
Mm-hmm.
But like Gwen often does, she ends up places unnoticed. It just happens with Gwen. So
I'll head over to greet Rashad.
Good evening.
Welcome back, my friend.
It's always good to be back. I see things are going well for you all at the restaurant. It's quite impressive.
We are making an impact in the local restaurant community. Bo runs an amazing kitchen, and the service staff we have here are excellent.
Do you have a place for me tonight? I should have called ahead, but hopefully it won't be too much of a bother.
Not at all. I have the eastern alcove over here.
Wonderful. Lead the way. And once we start walking, Rashad would like to use Scry the Soul to get an idea of the restaurant itself, to see if there's any kindred inside.
okay. I will let you roll. Now, since you're using on a crowd, you still roll your intelligence aspects. We'll see what you get. Since we're going to do it as well, through the crowd as a whole. You get hungrier as well.
Good thing you're in a restaurant.
Browse the blood. All right. So let me add.
Let's see what you're going to get.
Oh, I'm going to spend a willpower on that. That's way too many blank dice.
4 so far out of 10 dice. That is, not the best. 6. Well, other than the obvious, Callum, Bo, Cat, you are, since you're using Scry the Soul in a group, I will say that you can tell that there is a trace of vampire blood in Cat's family. but you do notice Gwen is in the place. And I want to roll something. There is a man sitting by himself in part of the restaurant. Dark hair. He's got a distracted look on his face, but he's sitting at a table by himself in one of the corner. He's definitely a kindred.
Mr.
Have I
McFarlane,
had
is that
any?
gentleman?
I was just going to ask if have I had any interaction with him this evening?
He came in, sat down.
Okay.
So
some of the other staff have been taking care of
He's eating, but not much. He's picking at the food.
Okay. Okay.
Is that gentleman a friend of yours?
He is not. One of my other host staff seated him. I haven't had any interaction with him yet this evening.
Well, there's no need to be alarmed if that is the case, but he is of our... the member of our organization. He is of our gifts.
Very well. Appreciate the info.
Of course. Anything on the menu that you recommend?
Well, Bo is actually doing a separate menu for Kat and her family. I can have maybe I can ask him if he can, prepare an extra portion of that for you, and you can taste along with them.
That would be wonderful.
Are you having any wine this evening? The sommelier picked out an excellent selection of Romanian wines.
Of course, if that is not an issue for you, it sounds wonderful.
I'll just have everything that's paired sent over to you.
Perfect.
So while they're having this conversation, Gwen, what are you doing real quick?
So Gwen will probably also look around just to see what's here. If anyone sticks out, not with Scry the Soul. Oh my gosh, I really can't talk today.
Wits awareness.
But yep.
And then we'll cut back to you, Callum. Hey, we made it 50 minutes before we first started rolling dice tonight. Pretty good. 4.
I'm willpowering.
Go ahead. Four. I mean, you notice the distracted guy, but you don't notice anything special about him other than he just seems kind of oddly distracted.
She'll probably actually go up to Rashad then and ask to join his table.
So continue what you're saying, Callum, as Gwen is approaching.
Yeah, so as we're walking over to the alcove where Rashad is going to be seated, I'm sure I have some guests of questionable moral character, and as we go by, I would introduce one or two of them to Rashad in case they're ever in any need of legal services, and then take him over to the table.
And as you take him to the table, you see Gwen coming up from the crowd.
Okay. And I'll greet her warmly.
Are y'all leaving the table?
I was just seating Rashad. He is alone this evening. You might want to ask him if he needs some company.
Would you like me to join you? I haven't seen you in a bit.
Of course. You're always welcome.
How are you all doing?
Good. It's a busy evening. Kat's here. Her family.
The whole gang.
The whole gang.
Is that why you came tonight, Rashad? Was it a get together?
Officially, I wanted to find something good to eat and an opportunity to get away from deals and legal documents. It's very difficult to get people to build things without computers these days.
That's true. I guess I won't ask you any legal questions then. Give you a break from it all.
If there are anything that you are dying to know, you're always welcome. What good is a skill if we aren't willing to use it, especially not for our friends?
Did y'all see that weird distracted guy?
Rashad just let me know about him.
Any ideas?
Not yet. But I can let you know what I find out.
Let me know if you need help with it.
You'll be the first to know.
So, I am glad to see you've returned. I hope your stay wasn't too unpleasant.
Did they tell you what happened?
I haven't been updated on the things I missed, but I had a Cliff Notes version, you could say.
Detainment is not suitable for me.
When will you be eating tonight? I have to get back to things.
I'll just have like a salad.
Okay.
What
Very
about you,
well.
Rashad? Where were you at?
I had to take care of some details for my new home. And in truth, I did not believe that I would be of much use for that particular task.
Really? I'm sure you would have been fine. Maybe could have helped rein things in a little bit.
There are benefits to the way I have been trained, and unfortunately, it makes it difficult to do some things. You know, there are reasons that your lawyer is typically not supposed to know all the things you're doing, only what they need to know.
You plan on ratting us out soon?
No, but you will find it is difficult, at least for some of us, to defend the innocence of our clients if we don't truly believe it.
I'm sure that does make it difficult when working with others like us.
It can, but there are benefits. We find it is easier to keep our connection to the average person.
I think that's something that we all definitely need more of. That's actually kind of why I wanted to ask you some business questions. I wanted to make sure or try and get reintegrated through the business world. I found a possible acquisition I could do.
All right, that does sound interesting.
I'm not so much into the legal paperwork behind things or even the technical how of it all.
Well, I can have someone draw up a simple contract. Do you know if you will need space for this business or if it's something meant to be more online?
Online will be the bulk of it. Probably do a shared office space need too, but I don't think that that's the majority of it anyway.
All right, I can have something drawn up for you, a few NDAs. They aren't the easiest things to enforce, but they are good for scaring people.
I'll stop boring you with business, though. How do you like your new place?
It's beautiful, but in a very lonely kind of way.
Lonely?
Yes, the cousin that arranged for it is more of the solitary type, which is very good for privacy, but not very much for making you feel that you aren't in a very large space by yourself. But beggars can't be choosers.
I mean, I don't mean to impose, but if you have all this extra space, my place is a little bit risky right now.
You are always welcome. I will arrange for you to stay for as long as you like. There shouldn't be any issues with sleeping arrangements. If there's anything specific you need, do let me know and I will see if I can provide it for you.
Oh, no, I'm quiet as a mouse. You'll never even know I'm there.
I don't doubt that.
And besides, there's something else I want to follow up with that's probably best for private discussions.
Of course. If it works for you, we can meet up later tonight.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
At that point,
Cool.
Bo would probably come out, 2 plates in hand, setting them down in front of Rashad and Gwen. Something special for our special guest this evening. Thank you for joining us here at Sojourns.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Bo,
I've
you
heard
shouldn't
many
have.
good things.
May I? And I gesture to an open seat.
You own the place.
It's still your table.
Of course, you're always welcome.
I will take a seat. Rashad, good to see you. It's been a while. Gwen, it's good to see you when you want to be seen.
Wouldn't have it any other way. How are you doing? How's family?
Is that a joke? And I say, Riley.
I'm curious. After all, I was kidnapped, for lack of a better word. Want to make sure I'm safe.
I don't know if this is better or worse. That phone call with my brother the other day was the first time I've heard from him since my mother was murdered and my father disappeared, and that was some time ago. I've only heard in passing what he'd been up to, and I had no idea he was involved in anything like this. I mean, how could I?
I think that he is probably even sneakier than me and you wouldn't find anything out unless he wanted you to, and then it'd be probably not for the best to investigate.
I mean, he also hated my guts since we were kids.
Why? You're so nice.
Well, thank you. I know, right? I mean, resentment. I got more attention from my father because I was better at what my father loved than he was.
What a shame. It seems like he isn't actually terrible at what he does do. He
No,
shouldn't have
but
all that hate.
I would say he's motivated by a lot of stuff that is misplaced.
Do you know how you want to handle the family reunion?
Avoid it,
Doubt that's
Denial.
possible.
shove it down deep where I can't find it. But in the real world, I'll need to come up with a better option.
Better prepare quickly. I have a feeling he'll reach out before you want it to happen.
Yeah, you're probably right. You don't recall seeing him at all in your capture, Gwen?
The second one?
I don't.
No.
Either or.
The first one, there was someone who looked a lot like you, or at least that's what I was told. I didn't see it, but
You were. I forgot you were knocked out.
it's funny
All
how
right.
the subconscious catches things like that.
Yeah.
Well, I will support you in any way that I can.
I'm kind of the mindset too that if I make a plan, that's just something for him to plan for. If I go in without one, he has to react to me in the moment.
Do you think he knows you well enough to predict what you in the moment will do?
I don't know how long he's been keeping an eye on me. It could have been since I've left. It's possible, but this life is still so new to me.
Preaching to the choir on that one.
I mean this very
Get
kindly,
that
Glenn.
you
You seem to have
are-
you seem to have a different grasp on it than I do.
I'm not quite sure what you mean.
Even in my change, I've been very singular focused in kind of gesture to the restaurant, where I think your interests as far as security and information have honed different skills.
It's funny how survival can force you to do things like that.
I'm not judging. I really am not. Whether it seems like it, I promise I'm not.
Oh, I know. It's just different life experiences. I'm sure
I
Rashad
forget
here
how new
too.
you two are. I have to forget how new you two are at all of this.
Only a couple
your-
years, really.
Did your parents review an explanation?
Trial by fire.
Yes, and then when I was away, when I was up in Milwaukee, I got more of a crash course before I was sent back down here.
Part of those that trial was the skills that Bo's referring to.
She let me kind of do my thing at the Chicago restaurant. That's why she took an interest in me in the first place.
Oh, not to doubt your skills, because you are both very good at what you do, but there is some knowledge that can only really be given from those who are a bit more veteran. If there's anything that you all would like to know, feel free to ask. I won't tell you I am a master of information, but I have learned a few things over my time.
That's actually one of the things I want to talk with you about later. I think you have something in your repertoire that I am not yet skilled with.
Of course.
Rashad, have you been caught up on the details of the other night? Or are you wanting to be ignorant of the...
Is there any information you feel that I need to know?
I think in the end, the HOA had to be called in to clean up. There were two mortals whose memories were wiped. And I think that's probably where we should leave it, unless you think otherwise, Gwen.
The cleaning might have been noticeable. Very bright, very loud.
Accidental. Wink, wink.
We
All
had
right.
nothing to do with it, though. That
No.
was the HOA.
Right.
Of course.
Guys seem very into it, though.
Naturally so.
Well, I will see if I can do any information requests to make sure that the appropriate things are forgotten, just in case, but it sounds like you all took care of things effectively.
As effective as could be expected given the circumstances.
Are you both okay after? I'm told that some jobs can be very mentally taxing.
I'm better. I was not that night.
In the end, I did what had to be done. It seemed the simplest. Unfortunately.
That didn't answer the question, Gwen.
I don't know how I feel about it. Not really something I've been asked before, so I haven't thought about it. I'm okay, I think.
Let me ask it this way. Is that something you want to be asked more?
I don't know.
Well, we'll keep asking until you do.
Okay.
Can I trust you to do the same, Rashad?
Of course. I have learned a few ways to keep my mental health over the years. And if there's anything I can do to help the two of you, feel free to ask.
I think we'll work best as a group if we act as checks and balances on each other. There are things that I certainly could get carried away with or have blind spots to. And that goes for all of us. And I need to be checked on with those blind spots, those deficiencies. And I hope we all can expect the same of one another. And that we're open to it.
There's a reason why my family has such a bad reputation when they get a whiff of something, whatever their shtick is. Like a dog with a bone, they just won't let it go. And I could probably use help with that.
Of course, you have to be careful that your fixations don't. Well, there are many of people who have found mistakes in the pursuit of knowledge. It can be a very difficult thing to balance.
And just be careful on who is being poked and prodded.
I don't know what you mean.
I had some concerns with how you were when we were interacting with the president of the HOA. I had some concerns with how far you were pushing. And I know it doesn't look like much, but we, having been around you a while, know when you're pushing. And I just want to make sure it's not something that will cause unintended ripples, especially with his unpredictable demeanor.
That's fair. I only asked pressed one question, really, and it seemed pertinent to us. It involved our safety.
No, and again, this is coming from me who was not in a good spot that night, and you saw how I reacted come the end of the night. There's a lot we don't know and don't want to assume about the president, and it could be a straw that breaks the camel's back, and I just don't want one question to be said straw.
With the things that I was asking, I don't think that the ask is what will break the camel's back with that one. I think it's the potential answers that everyone, including him, can get as a result, which will break inevitably. Better sooner rather than when more weight gets added on.
That's a fair, albeit scary, response. And in the end, as I've told Callum earlier today, as I told Kat not long ago, I'm on your side and I trust both of you. And I just want to make sure that trust is earned both ways. We've only known each other a short time, and I don't want anyone to get hurt by said trust.
I'm an open book, Bo. I trust you.
You all can trust me to take care of what you need. If there's two people you have to trust in this world, it'd be your doctor and your lawyer.
Your lawyer with only as much as they want you to tell them anyway.
Of course.
As there's a pause in the conversation, we're flashing over real quick to Katerina as she's returning from the bathroom when she catches Callum on her way back to the chef's table.
Yeah. Callum, thanks so much for giving me a little bit of warning on that situation. Took a look and not a bit of like hostility. And I don't recognize him at all.
It could be from the HOA.
Possible. Who knows? But obviously you're keeping an eye on him, so keep it up.
It was actually Rashad that pointed him out, so
yeah.
Thankfully he came in.
It's about time for the birthday dessert, so she taps him on the shoulder and says, let me get back to the family.
All right, I'll let Bo know. And I'll swing over to the table with Bo and Rashad and Gwen. Let him know that the special dessert should come out with the next course.
Well, I think that's my cue to get back to the kitchen. If Callum does mention said person, I will get up and activate awe so people's attentions are diverted to me and not the table I'm leaving. I don't want them to pay mind to Rashad and Gwen, so I'll take a few steps and initiate awe and then use kindred iconography on the gentleman.
Okay.
See if I notice anything.
Go ahead. Give me wits streetwise.
Okay. Bear with me.
And because you've turned on all, yes, the eyes in the restaurant are automatically just kind of drawn to you. Your presence moving through the place. Everything else going on around the people, kind of the conversations, you notice they start to ease off a little as there's like a pause through the whole restaurant conversation as they're looking over to, well, see who this chef is that's walking back towards the place.
And then I get to add 3 dice to that. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead and roll 3 more then.
Sorry, I thought it would add when I hit +2 to that.
Nope, because you're dragging one at a time. So you can also, when you right click the dice, or if you right click the die, you can select how many. So
cool.
One success.
Yeah, super.
You don't really see any iconography. But as you go and head back towards the kitchen, his eyes are drawn to you, though he still isn't looking right at you. He's looking in your direction. And he stands up, and with a rich baritone voice, which I wish I had, "We must leave in 5 minutes. The time has come. Information to be repaid with information." And he's looking right at you, Bill.
Do I get a sense that's directed just to me, or
No.
Okay.
And even with that rich voice, he didn't talk loud, but it resonates through the place. The eyes still don't switch from you. You have all running.
Yeah.
People are focused on you.
Okay. Once I get to the kitchen, did you get that, Callum? What?
Oh, Callum, Gwen, and Rashad would have all heard it. The only one who wouldn't be able to hear it was Katarina, because she's in the kitchen at the chef's table.
5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Katarina,
Yes.
in 5 minutes, I will require your attention outside.
Excellent.
And I will turn to Teddy. Will you please finish up the meal for Dr. Riccosi's family? And I will whisper that it's her husband's birthday today.
That's not a problem.
My sous chef, Teddy, you're in excellent hands with him. He will finish up your meal. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening.
And Teddy smiles and says, "I've been taught by the best."
Of course you have. And she leans over to Alex and says, "I'm going to have to step out briefly, but you enjoy your birthday dessert."
And he looks at you and smiles, and he nods slightly. This isn't the first time, and it won't be the last time this has happened.
I know. But
He understands.
I'll make it up to you later. And she kisses him on his cheek.
And he smiles. Now, as we got Bo and Kat, what is Callum, Rashad, and Gwen doing? The audience now, or the audience, the restaurant, now that Bo isn't on the floor, they're all looking at this man who's standing there. He's just standing there. His hands are resting behind his back. Not at a parade rest. He's got a rigid posture, but he's not looking at anybody. He's kind of gazing off towards the window.
Gwen probably almost immediately goes, "There's the promise of information here." She almost probably goes immediately kind of towards him, towards the door, like a little in between, and will decide on where to go based on how his reaction, I guess.
His eyes flick to you, but not on you, just flick your direction. He never does doesn't appear he looks at anybody directly. And you notice his head just slowly cocked to the side a little as he's looking past you.
Is it clear he'd rather us wait outside, or?
He hasn't said.
Should I go wait with him?
Okay. He doesn't move. He doesn't make a sound. He just stands there.
Well, Rashad is going to do his usual, and it's going to scry the soul on this person.
Go ahead. Now you're going to do a straight targeted scry the soul.
Mm-hmm. Going to surge. Oh my goodness, I'm getting hungry. I'm going to surge my intelligence.
And your beast speaks to you. Especially as you get the 7. 7 with a messy crit. Your beast speaks to you on this one. "I feel the old blood on this one. I thought they were lost." And then your beast chuckles in a unpleasant way. 7 with a crit.
8 with a crit.
8 with a crit. You get 4 questions based on Scry the Soul, and you've gotten something special already. That was your critical that lets me reveal something unasked. And that was it.
All right. Well, I will know if the subject has committed diablerie.
Oh, no.
Influence of blood, sorcery.
No blood, sorcery, or other magic upon them either.
Emotional state and resonance.
Emotional state is distracted. They are, it's an odd duality. They are distracted, but intently focused on something. You just don't know how you can be both distracted and focused. And resonance, there's a sanguine resonance in his blood right now. There's a passion in there somewhere, though it doesn't reflect in his aura.
All right. Rashad will, without realizing it, he will have shattered the glass of wine he was drinking, and he will stand up and make his way towards the back exit, and I imagine where the bathrooms are, as if looking to find something to clean his hands, and then he'll make his way outside.
Okay. And the rest of the group gathers. He waits. His eyes flick as you're going. He flicks towards you as you're going outside, but he's clearly waiting for Callum, Bo, and Kat. And the moment you are all in the dining room, he just nods to himself and begins walking towards the front door.
Gwen follows. She's next to him.
Callum, as soon as he heard him say that, he would have moved over to the host stand and I would tell Natalia to just stay at the host stand, and I'll tell Ashton to stay at the host stand and ask Natalia to go and make sure that all of the security cameras are running and recording, and make sure at least one of them is on us when we're outside.
Okay.
Can Gwen, like, now that she's closer, can she try and get like a better look to try and get anything off of him?
Go ahead. What do you want to roll on this one? Wit's insight?
Can I argue for investigation with deduction?
Sure.
Oh, and then I was searching that too. Don't mind the cat wheel.
5. Oh, the cat is our mascot.
I'm willpowering. I know.
We have been blessed.
Look, the cat starts running and look at your rolls.
I know.
They
Right?
get better.
They do.
We have been blessed.
6. As you're standing close to him, you realize he's humming to himself. It's a very low, he's a baritone, very low hum, but he's singing to himself. You don't,
Can I make
no words coming out. It's all
just
the
hum.
hum.
The melody.
Is there any chance I could make like an occult roll? Like to see if there's anything weird about it?
Sure. Intelligence occult. I'll let you roll it. I'll let you roll anything you want. Whether you get info is a whole nother discussion, but I let you roll.
That's valid.
Never tell your players they can't roll. That's the first rule of being storyteller.
Yeah. Okay, maybe.
The 3. Now you don't know it. Nothing occult about it. It's vaguely. It's not modern music for sure. At least not mainstream music. But there's a pace to it. Maybe he's opera, perhaps.
Got it.
And as you all have gathered outside and he steps out, And he waits patiently, not moving for all of you, though he does not look, even outside, he doesn't look at any one of you directly. And his head now is just cocked to the side. We require a vehicle. We must head to the college. We have enough time.
What's at the college?
Knowledge.
Of?
You will see. It is better to see. We cannot speak on the street.
Understood. Who sent you?
My sisters. You will understand.
Storyteller, whose domain was the college again?
That is Victorious. Sheriff in any city.
That's the community college.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that where he's?
Yeah, that's where he's indicating.
Okay.
Sheriff in any other city, but investigator here.
All right. I'll text my Kat's literally going to text her husband saying she's got to take the vehicle for this and that he needs to just text her when he's done and she'll call them an Uber.
He texts back, sure thing, love you, be safe.
And she brings everybody to her car. It's a new Toyota Sequoia.
Is he offering a ride or did he say we just need a ride?
He said you need a ride.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shad will grab whoever is furthest away from this person to kind of to fall and step slower from the group. Not quite to separate, but to be further in the back.
Yeah, that would probably be me.
I would say it would probably Callum.
Mr. McFarland, I would have preferred to warn the others, but this person may be very, very old. So we should be very careful with what we say and what we do.
Very well.
And
If you get a chance, please let the others know.
unlocks the vehicle and says, the chariot awaits.
After you.
She gets in because she's obviously driving.
And he waits for everyone to get in, and then he settles in the vehicle with you all. And at this point, we're going to go to break, everybody. We will see you all in 10 minutes. Please enjoy the lovely music by Carlene. And, who is this strange person? We'll find out. Welcome back, everybody. Before the break, well, we got to see the emotional aftermath of the events of dealing with the blackmailer and the way it affects the coterie and their interpersonal relationships. But their evening of sorting things out was interrupted by a strange individual that Callum had checked the reservation book. And the guy was in the reservation book had reserved it as Mr. Tenor. And as you're seated in the car heading over to the community college, now that you're in the car together, you can all hear him humming softly to himself. We will go to the humanities building. Once we arrive on campus, we will not speak. We will make no conversation until you have seen what my sisters wish you to see.
Who are you?
You may call me Mr. Tenor. I cannot.
What are you singing?
The music. The music that is always there.
Always where?
There.
All right. And Kat's just driving to the college.
And no amount of trying to talk to him will cause him to speak again. But as you pull up
Storyteller.
Yes.
What I've had a better opportunity to get a look at them to retry, or has that moment passed with the iconography?
You can roll again. Since you're trying again, of course, you'd need even more successes to notice anything on him. But
gotcha. Fair enough. What you said, wit streetwise,
Yep.
correct?
Wit streetwise. Six.
7.
7. Most kindred tend to have something that represents them somewhere on them, be it a color or an object or some way that links them with their clan. It's often a way for clans to recognize other members of their clan. But in his case, he has absolutely nothing. Not any kind of mark that would reveal a thing. And as you pull up outside the Humanities building, it's late enough that there's parking. He gets out, doesn't say another word. He just steps out of the vehicle and he waits for you all to follow him. And he leads you into the building. It's unlocked at this hour, but he goes to a stairwell and he uses a key to unlock it. And soon you find yourself on the roof of the Humanities building. And he takes you over towards the edge to where you can see the main walk in front of the college down into, it's almost like a little area where, well, judging by the cigarette butts, people like to stand there and smoke outside the buildings, even though it's supposed to be non-smoking. And you're standing up there in the night's air with the breeze coming across you for about 5 minutes when you see a man you all recognize walking arm in arm with two very young women. Curtis Vance, the dirtbag Ventru, is coming across the campus. And the man who identified himself as Mr. Tenor stops humming as Vance is walking across. And then you do see movement. Other people, two to be precise, on opposite sides of him, stepping out of the shadows. Two slight figures with hoods on, pulled up over their head. And as they pull them down, they're both black-haired, long black-haired, very pale skin women that are standing as he's walking. And one of them lifts her head and she begins to sing a keening song. There's no words to it. It's just melody, just sound, pure music. And Vance stops still in his tracks and does not move. He's got a look on his face, wrapped like he's caught in the music itself. And the other one smiles, but it's not a smile of pleasantry. It is a smile of a pharaoh monster. And then she begins to sing. And the two women that were standing on his arms turn to him. And they begin tearing at his clothes. One of them goes over to a tree, pulls out a limb. And while Vance stands there and does not move, cannot move, because the keening has not stopped, and the other one's song is in counterpoint to it, there's a harsh disparity in the music. You can tell they're singing the same melody, but opposite parts of it, diametrically opposed. As the two women set on Vance, and you watch him first staked, bludgeoned, and finally destroyed. And as you see Vance turn to ash, Mr. Tenor, you hear a sigh escape his lips. And the two women pull their hoods back over their head and walk off the campus. As the two girls that just destroyed Vance look about confused and wander off, unaware of what they had just done. You shared information with one of the Watchers, gave information on this man that you did not need to give. Information begets information. My sisters, thank you.
What are you?
I am their brother. I am the one who has watched them, protected them, and stood over them.
That's not what I'm asking. I have never seen anything like that.
There are not many of us. I am one of the few of the men that serve them still. They are the third part of the city. You heard their music. They sing the song we hear. The song all of our kind were cursed to hear.
Storyteller, would Rashad have ever heard of anything like this in passing?
You are Giovanni. Quite possible. Because of their ties to, Kat may have heard vague rumors, very vague, because the Black Hand at some point supposedly had singers amongst them. Though you never heard what they called themselves. Rashad probably would have. Kat, you thought they were myths, not real.
Yeah, that's why she's kind of freaked out.
I am honored to have gotten the opportunity to meet you, all of you.
As am I.
Information for information. The Watchers in the city are ours. We work for the one who calls herself Victoria. But they are ours. Never forget. Information to them come to us. My sisters act on what they feel is important. You wonder what information he had. What was worth allowing a predator amongst predators into your midst. My sisters have bid me to tell you, do not create children in this city. Do not take the bond lightly. Children are corrupted, infected with a madness. And the blood bond spreads the madness. Sometimes it takes minutes, sometimes it takes hours. But if one is infected and they bond another, the infection will spread. They will turn rabid. They will attack all those around them. It is what has befallen the misguided in the city.
Is there a way to undo this madness?
I do not know. I am not privy to that. If my sisters know, they will tell me if I need to know.
Do you know what started it?
No. But it started about 6 months ago. And through all his talking, he's still not looking at any of you. He seems...
Do you know how... Oh, sorry.
He seems still distracted by it all.
Is it contained to the city, or do you know how far beyond the city this is affected?
I am not one who tests. I am one who obeys. If my sisters have found out, they will tell me if I need to know. But in the city, do not create children. You risk them becoming monsters. And if you blood bond your children and they become monsters, it will spread. Though it does not affect bonds from kindred other places. Only created here, in this place, at this time. The music of the city has gone dark. It has been twisted. I do not expect you all to understand the music. That is not for you. That is for us. But the music has changed. You have made friends with my sisters for sharing. We thank you.
Are we allowed to speak to Victoria about this with certain privacy?
Victoria knows the deal that was made between my sisters and Manuel. This tonight was part of him honoring that deal. He was given to us.
What was the deal?
I don't know. My sisters made the deal.
Thank you, Mr. Tenor.
Mr. Tenor. Go ahead, Gwen.
You mean Cat?
No, I just saying thank you to him.
Oh.
You can go ahead, Cal.
Mr. Tenor, was the music corrupted and the first beginnings of the disease at the same time? Was the music corrupted before the disease began?
I don't know when the disease began. I know when the music was corrupted, and the two are linked. But we will sing nonetheless.
Have you heard this corrupted music anywhere else before?
I have been nowhere else before. Whether my
So yours
sisters
is-
have. Again, they do not tell me. Mine is not to know. Mine is to do, to protect, and to serve as counterpoint to their choir.
So if you've never been anywhere else, are you susceptible to the madness?
It does not affect me. I sing to the music. I do not dance to the tune.
So that's a prevention?
Don't know.
Are there other rare people in this city?
There are none like my sisters. They have not seen others of their kind in a very long time. They have told me that. We thank you. I must be going. My sisters will have need of me. singing a song such as this one tires them. And he nods to you all. You can leave when you're ready. The door will be unlocked. And he turns and heads right back towards the stairwell, leaving you all on an empty rooftop at the college, or at the community college, really.
What the fuck?
They are old. Or at least should be. Unless they started making new ones recently.
I thought they
Not
were
here.
a myth.
Wait, what?
They call themselves the Daughters of KoFi, according to my uncle. We have met a few, but they don't deal with most of our kind. At least not anymore. I don't know why. According to what he told me, they hear a song that is equal parts Toreador and equal parts Malkavian. I wasn't sure if that was real or hyperbole.
I mean, I've heard tales about singers that can sing you to madness. But I thought it was a myth.
There was something interesting about that tune.
Don't go chasing that one, Bo. For real.
I was going to say, I feel like we'll have information for them again and we'll inevitably see them.
And that's probably the best way to deal with them. Keep them on our good side.
I can give information.
Because look at what they did to Vance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely don't want to get on their bad side.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm ready to get the fuck out of here. And y'all can see that Cat is like spooked all to hell.
What hasn't been all that long, your family is probably still at the restaurant.
She checks. Yeah, no text yet. They probably are.
And I'm sure Teddy and your staff, Callum, are taking plenty good care of them.
Absolutely.
They know who they are.
We now know why the Sabbat have been forced to change their game plan.
Yeah, no kidding. If their childer go completely, I mean, it's expected that shovelheads are going to be a little off, okay? But if they go completely like feral from jump, and if you bond them, it makes it worse. Yeah, that would explain a whole lot.
I hate to say this, but if they, the daughters, didn't mess up the music, and the Sabbat didn't mess up the music, because I don't think they'd want this effect.
No, they
Who
were here
did?
before that change.
Who did mess it up?
Something happened to make it change. Something or someone. 6 months ago.
That's there.
Is there anything that
One of
happened
the-
6 months ago, storyteller? Like exactly?
The coterie that you replaced at this point would have been probably about 4 months ago. So 6 months ago would have marked probably the start of the war. Roughly.
Anyway, let's go back down to the car.
As we walk past, Bo spits in Vance's ashes.
The wind has blown them away.
Yeah, they're gone.
Mhm.
He's
Before
dust in
they-
the wind.
Well, he spits where he was standing.
Before they get too far, Gwen's going to kind of like just look around to see if she sees anything. I doubt she will. I probably don't even need to make a roll because I know she won't. But she's going to kind of longingly look to see where they went.
After they moved back to the shadows, in the shadows of the building, you don't know where they went. They were lost with those black hoods. They blended to the shadows and were gone. whether they use the power to hide or just use the shadows to their natural advantage.
Now they look like they didn't know what had happened. They look confused, you said?
Yeah.
The two girls with him, not the two that came
the two
up
women
and
that
singing.
that murdered Vance. The two young women that were going to be his prey.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't realize what they'd done.
Yeah.
I worry that one of their elders may be waking up in the city.
If one hasn't woken up or if one isn't here now, I bet one will soon come. The music that they were talking about, I imagine that they'd want it fixed.
We're having this conversation in the car.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm going to look into this madness. I wonder if there's a way to suppress it or cure it.
Oh, we didn't even get to ask him how he liked the restaurant.
I don't think he ate much.
I think we could probably gather his response.
So, Rashad is going to look into the madness. What about the rest of us?
I want to get my hands on a relatively young shovelhead or young Sabat.
I could try and reach out to my sire, see if she knows anything about the music.
Because if I can get my hands on one, I might be able to run some tests on that Vitae.
Well, I'll help you look into them more. I'm curious. I can't obviously reach out to your sire, but I'll see if I can find anything. What about you, Callum?
I can also probably reach out to my sire. Milena may know something. Or she may be able to ask Sovereign or Ballard.
I think most of us are more curious about them than the actual madness. Unfortunately, for us, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, I'm not curious about them at all. Okay. I'm just going to stay on their good side.
Yeah.
And if you're smart,
That's my
that's
plan.
all you're going to do too.
I would agree with Katerina on this one. They should be old, and I don't know what they are capable of.
The fact is, I was taught to believe they were a myth for a reason.
So are they tasked to maintain the masquerade?
I doubt they give a rat's ass about that.
I don't think they're tasked with anything. I think that they just do. They do what fits their code. What fits the music.
Strictly guided by their own.
I mean, I don't know. Rashad or Kat might know more, but that's what it seems like.
They are or were independent, as far as my clanmates mentioned, but they may be coming out of the cold.
They are not.
No.
They are not Sabat. They are not Anarch. They are not Camarilla.
They are a third, is what he said even.
Yeah. They are outside of it. Always have been.
Curious what Victoria thinks about this arrangement.
Y'all have fun. I'm going to go talk to Bella and see if we can't snatch us a fucking shovelhead. Because if I can get one basically on ice that I can test some fucking vitae of, I can see if there's anything chemically different.
I feel like my workings or expertise or whatever you want to call it will inevitably encounter them. I'd rather know more sooner rather than later.
Mhm.
I will
I don't-
write down what I know about them, but it isn't much.
I'll send word to my associate in Chicago, see what he knows. Might be able to fill in some of the gaps I have because, well, he's been around longer than I have been. So,
I don't intend to seek them out, but
I doubt
they're
you'd
very
get
clearly
anything from
here.
him if you did.
They don't seem like the type who can be found if they don't want to be.
Mm-hmm.
But best way to stay on someone's good side is to know what their good side is and what it wants.
I take it they want us to keep giving information to the Thin Bloods that work for Victoria.
It's a
Hopefully.
good place to start.
That's their watchers.
Storyteller, I'll add this whole incident into the monthly email I send off to
Okay.
Ballard and Milena.
Noted.
Can I actually use the Ministry's clan merit?
Hmm.
On Mr. Tinner?
Discerning. Let's see. I won't expose deep schemes, but it lets you see something superficial, discover something superficial. Okay. The individual's desire or ambition or course of action they were undertaking. It's clear he enjoys serving his sisters. He has no issue being under that yoke. And because of the sigh that escaped his lips, he enjoyed watching them turn the women against Vance. He enjoyed watching the destruction. It's almost as if he didn't care what they were doing as long as he could hear them sing.
Okay.
And can I do a premonition about this
About this
situation?
specifically. Of course.
Why not go open the box all the way? Let's see what happens.
Oh, good. Yeah, open that box. When the Daughters of Cacophony come out, Pandora's box is already opened, okay?
Well, why not spend the willpower?
Five. And as your vision fades out, there's a tune in your head. You hear the music. At some points, the music is angry. At some point, music is sad. At some points, it's joyous. It is the normal ebb and flow of the music itself. A music that has gone through history. And then another voice joins the music. It is not a voice using words. It is clear that it is just another voice changing things. And where the music followed the ebbs and flows, now the music has an insidious quality to it. It seeps into your head. It makes you angry. It makes you destructive. and it makes you want to spread that insidious melody. And for the rest of the group, you all see Rashad. His eyes have glazed over, but he's clenching his fists now. And you see him starting to shudder and shake a little bit.
What the fuck?
And as you're watching, Rashad, you're still caught in your premonition. The anger is getting stronger and stronger. The voice. At first, you thought it was harsh. But as you're stuck in your premonition right now, you're listening more and more to it. And it's starting to appeal to you.
Gwen's gonna slap him.
And then, with a sharp rap of pain, you're twisted out of the premonition. The lingering anger and the desire to hear more of that song still stuck in your head, but it's fading as the premonition falls away.
Why did you do that?
What part of let's not fuck with the daughters was misunderstood?
You've never reacted like that with a vision before, Rashad. Something was different. I don't know what, I didn't see, but something was different, and it seemed like it needed to end.
You were like freaking having convulsions.
I heard their song, and it was wonderful. Angry, furious, but wonderful at the same time.
So that's how
Thank
it is
you.
now.
Yes, it wasn't always angry, but someone is adding to it, corrupting it. I don't know.
I don't think many people, and I guess it could be metaphorical, but I don't know how many people have access to the ability to change the music.
I don't know. I've also never felt a premonition in that way before. It's usually like watching the events as a third party, but that was different.
You'd mentioned that there was some of my clan in the song, correct?
That was what it was explained to me, that the daughters have a obsession with art, but music. But then that music is also like the Malkavian. It's a madness. And based on what I heard, I can understand it a little.
I wonder if it's someone of my clan. They're known for corrupting. And like that's what they do. They corrupt your deepest elements. I think it'd have to be someone old, but what if they could corrupt a city?
All options are on the table right now. And they said they were a third. I think we can't forget the fourth party if, in fact, Clan Gangrel is true neutral, quote unquote. There's still a
No, it's NOS that
wild,
are neutral.
or that's what I meant. I apologize.
It's okay.
Clan NOS that are wild cards in all of this.
Can I make a roll to see if there's something that we have enough information to piece together, but I, as a player, am not smart enough to piece together?
Of course. You can always roll intelligence, investigation. That's always a good one for those kind of situations.
Deduction.
Academics, deduction, there, that works. There's all kinds of angles. What you roll determines what kind of info I might help you out with.
Yeah, so I'm gonna roll intelligence investigation with the specialty in deduction, and I think I was still surging intelligence because I changed it.
Okay.
But I can roll again if you need me to.
Nope. Just
okay.
Roll your intelligence investigation.
Okay, hold on. I want as much information as I can get from this. Didn't matter. Okay.
So, Bo, something you said sparked a thought. How many movements are in a symphony? 4, right?
Yeah.
And they said they're the third. Are these Sisters of Cacophony, are they known to perform their art in a similar musical fashion? 4 movements?
I don't think they're performing something of their own. I think
they're tapping into something.
If they were performing it on their own, I don't think they wouldn't know how to deal with.
Or whoever's controlling the music.
I think that question's bigger than what we have access to right now.
Cat pulls into the restaurant parking lot and says, "I adore you. You have 5 minutes to get out of my car because I'm getting my family and I'm going home."
Understood. Good night, Cat.
And she gets out of the car.
And Kat steps in, leaving you all 5 minutes to talk as she goes to retrieve her husband.
Because she is so done with this conversation at this point. This has spooked her the fuck out. So.
Well, I think you're onto something. I don't think that if we look at the sex, there's already more than 4. So what if it's not even sex related at all? What if it's something else?
Right. And that's why I want to talk to Kathy, see if she as just a musician herself, part of my clan, my sire, she has more contacts who even one little puzzle piece might help clear the picture up a little bit.
It makes me wonder whose side we're on.
As of today, as of right now, I am on your side. I'm on your side, and Kat's side.
The first time in a long time, I wish my family was around. Should be careful. Much, much more careful.
Especially when we don't even know what we're dealing with, what we're even doing.
We've been thrown into a blender and just hoping it's not put on high blend at this point.
Even you food analogies.
We're at a restaurant right now, so.
Storyteller, I would like to, I'm going to pull out my phone and start looking through some of my notes from my Ventru tutelage. and things I've learned since I've been here. I'm going to use that the clan merit.
Oh, you're going to use your Ventru clan merit
about Mr. Tenor.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting, and very creative use of that. Interesting. I have to give you something. You wouldn't know specifically about the Daughters of Cacophony because that is not normally talked about. But let me think on this a second.
Maybe there's something in some of my
There is
focuses.
Actually something. His voice is familiar to you now. Thinking on it, thinking hard on it. You once heard him sing. He was an opera singer. Fell off the radar in the mid to late 90s. Supposedly destined for greatness. And then just disappeared.
I'll bring up a video of him, like on YouTube or something.
Find 480, or 240p, low quality. The voice is the same. The man looks the same.
Yeah, and I'll play it and just turn the volume up so that these guys all can hear it. Gwen, you investigate things. Here's our guy.
Oh, I don't know what all I can really do with it. I could certainly look into it, but I think that I might be better suited getting information that they don't already know. I wonder if that's the only way we'll get anywhere. I'll look, though.
I mean, at some point, he just fell off the face of the earth.
We all did.
And now he's here.
If you are going to look after them, be careful. Don't go alone. That song
I'll see
is...
Kat and her family walking out.
You should go.
And her husband's walking with the movement of somebody who really ate a bit more than he should have.
Yeah, he's very pleasantly full.
Yeah. And slightly intoxicated because,
just a wee bit.
He was hitting that wine pretty good.
When we get out, I would make a point to go up to him and say, I hope this was a birthday to remember.
Oh, lovely place. Loved it. Enjoyed every minute of it. Oh.
We hope to see you back soon.
But now I'm going to have to go home and have a coma.
Kat just lightly taps his cheek. Your loss.
Oh, don't worry. I'll be better by the time we get home. And your son rolls his eyes and your daughter's like, even now, I don't want to hear that.
How do you think you came to be?
Don't want to hear that either.
Have a good evening, y'all.
And so,
Doctor,
you too, Kat.
I know everyone has to set off, but I know Gwen needed to speak with Rashad as Bo. You're heading to the casino tonight, aren't you?
Yeah, why not?
So I'm going to let Gwen and Rashad have a little private chat since Gwen had said they needed a private chat.
Yeah, sure. So I imagine that Gwen just kind of gets a ride back from Rashad, since she's staying with him.
Do you want to wait until we arrive, or is the car a private enough location for you?
I mean, I think that part of it'll be better suited in once we arrive, but I guess I can start now. I can tell that Kat doesn't want to be the fighter. It hurts her too much. I know that, as Bo mentioned, I potentially have some skills that might help make me suited for that. However, one skill that I lack is, well, I mean, look at me. And like, she's like this 5'2", like scrawny little thing. Like, I can't really take a hit.
You are asking to learn how to harden yourself. Is that correct?
Yes. I don't think that Cat can do it for forever. Either at one point she'll refuse or she'll break. Either way, we don't have anyone else who can do it. At least as it stands now. Especially if you're to remain your plausible deniability.
Are you sure you can handle such a burden?
I don't intend to do everything, but I don't think that she can do it all either. And besides, it seems like we're in a very dangerous game right now. So even if I don't end up doing anything to help Cat at all, I could probably benefit from it anyway just for surviving this mess. I've already been kidnapped. Well, almost kidnapped once, actually kidnapped twice. Shot by snipers, locked in a cage, in a van accident.
I understand your point. I have no issue teaching you. Of course, it is not a difficult thing to get. However, it would not come free. I would like for you to agree to give me a favor to be named at a later date.
Can I get any more information other than just a favor?
Not until I know what I will need.
I trust you, but I don't like having those things hang over my head. How about I tell you what happened? Why I have the marks on my soul?
Are you sure you want to share that information?
I trust you. You already know.
All right. I will consider it a deal struck.
And then Gwen will start to tell him her story.
Now, here's the question. Are you going to reveal it to everyone tonight or save that for a later episode?
I'm going to save it for a later episode.
Of course you are. Of course you are. But now one member of this group knows the truth about Gwen.
Suspense.
That will be a later season, for sure. And in return, you get a sip of his blood. Single sip is all it's needed to learn fortitude. But it also comes with it a slight bond. Only one point. You're willing to listen to him a little more often. Doesn't mean you'll do a damn thing he says. You at least listen. And as you have conducted your transaction, we're going to flash over to Bo, who's sitting in a casino. What game are you
May I
playing?
roll? You know what? Let's say poker. May I roll a subterfuge check
Sure.
with my gambling specialty?
Sure. Go ahead. We'll see how you're doing.
Wits subterfuge?
Yeah, you can use wit subterfuge. It's that or intelligence. Or even manipulation, technically.
True. I'm going to do wits.
If you're brave, you do like dexterity larceny. Trying to, fuck around with the cards, but
I
that's
haven't
tough
used
in a casino.
willpower. I haven't used willpower yet, so I'm going to use 6 successes.
You're doing pretty damn good. You're winning tonight. You're on a lucky streak. You're so caught up in your winning streak, you don't even notice a man sat down next to you until he speaks. Hello, Bo. Your brother is sitting beside you. Funny you come here, of all places. Creature of habit, aren't you?
I mean, seems like you'd know.
Oh, I do.
I'd use compel to tell the dealer to leave.
Okay. That works. Cute little trick you have. Very cute. It's funny.
Just persuasive, I guess.
Your kind are quite interesting. See, that's the mistake.
You keep saying you're kind. We're cut from the same cloth, Grant.
No.
Or you come from the same people.
No. You are something else. You are not.
Be delusional all you want.
I'm the delusional.
Yes, you are.
You are a bloodsucker who feeds on humanity, and I am the delusional one? See, that's the mistake too many have made of thinking there's anything left of what you once were in there.
You use that word bloodsucker. You're just a jealous little leech.
But I am alive. And you are not. I am not an abomination. And you are.
Matter of perspective.
Isn't it always very creative? One of the biggest tricks the devil played on humanity was to convince them they didn't exist. You see the parallels to that.
I mean, you never thought I existed, or at least you never wanted me to exist. So what's different now?
What's different now is you become something else. And unlike many of my brethren, my first instinct isn't to wipe you out.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I hear the sarcasm.
Should I be grateful?
No. But I doubt you will be grateful, and your friends won't be either. I'm not going to make the mistake those in Chicago have. I am not going to make the mistake those in LA have. I am not even going to make the mistake those in London and Vienna have. They went in after their targets without knowing what they are, without studying what they are. I plan to study you. I plan to study your kind. Your little friend, Gwen. Still figuring out how she got away. Every time, we'll learn something new. We've already learned, what we thought was a good tranquilizer had the opposite effect. Now, I'll be honest, she got 2 of my men with that case.
You must be pretty confident if you're giving me your whole evil villain speech right now.
No.
Telling me your whole plan.
I want you to understand the futility of it all. I want you to feel the cage slowly closing in, the noose as it slowly slips around your neck. Now, unfortunately.
Good thing I don't breathe air.
Yeah, but you'll swing in the daylight just like any others. Here's the thing.
Doesn't seem like you operate in the daylight much either, though. So,
Yeah, you'll find there's a lot we have to do when you're off the books. Just like I'm going to be called away for a little while. I'm going to give you some peace for a bit. Think of it as a gift for someone who was once my brother. A present. I've been reassigned temporarily, but I will be back. And I will continue to study you and your friends and others like you until we have enough to destroy you all, to purge you from the earth, as you should have been purged decades ago, when you left us, when you broke your family. I stayed to pick up the pieces. I stayed because I was all they had. So now I shall return the favor.
you stayed to pick up the pieces of the success I had. You stayed to lap up the leftovers I left behind. You stayed because you had nowhere else to go, Grant.
I stayed because I was family. They were my family. But you were never part of that, were you? You played
stayed
that.
because
When you got your chance, you took it. Left your family behind, left all of us behind. Wanted to forget being a Kansas boy. Wanted to be in the big city. Be a famous chef. Well, funny how life changed for all of us, isn't it? You went your way. I went mine.
you said I'm not alive.
Mm-hmm. You're a monster. I can see it in you clearly. I've been able to see it since the night that voice spoke to me. The night I became aware of what was really going on in the world. I know you won't try anything in a place like this. Too public.
I was going to say the same about you.
Oh. Very much so. I may be off the books, but even I'm not going to cause a massacre such as this.
Are we done?
Yes, I've got a plane to catch, but I will be back. Don't worry. You won't know when, but I'll know. Be seeing you, Bo.
Grant.
And he gets up, looks at you for a second, stares at you. You can see his eyes narrow as he stares hard at you. Then he nods to himself and turns and walks out.
Hey, Grant.
He stops, but he doesn't turn around to face you. He just looks over his shoulder at you.
I did look up to you once.
You will look up to me again at some point as you lie on your back and die again.
Careful what you wish for.
And he turns and walks from the casino, ruining Bo's lucky streak at the table. And as we settle on this night where, well, the whole group has gotten some interesting information about why the Sabbat had to change tactics. They met something that, if they're smart, terrified a lot of them, but also, at the same time, it's better to have a friend that's a monster than be opposed to the monsters. And Bo found out a little bit about why his brother was doing what he did, why Gwen was not interrogated. It's one big science experiment to him. But he's always been kind of that way, hasn't he? This is where we end season 1 of Kansas City, A Domain Divided. And I'd like to thank my amazing players, first of all. Well done for season 1, everybody. You, the viewers, thank you for coming out for season 1. It has been a nonstop roller coaster this season as we put this group through hell. For the season finale, everybody gets 3 XP. You get a bonus just for the season finale. So you got 4 last time, now you get 3. Wow, I'm just being generous. I don't know how that'll end up. But please, join us on the Discord. This cast came from the Discord. And I know some people like to leave right as we get to the outro. Come back next week for the cast Q&A. It's a live Q&A. You get to ask your questions about how the players feel about the stream. And so you're aware, if you know you can't make it, but you want to hear answers to questions, post them in the Discord. Mama over there is amazing, and she will take the questions from the Discord, make sure we answer them live so that when you watch it on video on demand, you'll get your answers. So check that out. And now my brain, you want to catch our back episodes? Go to YouTube. All our back episodes are on YouTube, not just this stream of Chicago, Demon, Wraith, Mage, Werewolf, Changeling, which is currently going on again right now. Bluebeard's Bride, Monster Heart. We got so much content over there. Just go to our YouTube, check it out. You want to get you some studio merch? We've got some merch. You can go sign into Zazzle because there's some adult stuff that you only get when you're signed in. If you want to catch some amazing content creators like one over here, go to our friends, check them out. And of course, as always, people, if you want to support the players in the stream, bits and donations go to the players. I've got to do my end of year tally of everyone's bits again because I haven't been good about doing it last like 2 months, but I'll be tallying them up because I have to close out for the end of the year anyway. So I'll be doing that. And of course, if you want to give the studio, go to our KoFi, subscribe here on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube, like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the little notification, the bell icon, hit that stuff. That's all helping us out. And now I can turn it over to my lovely wife for the schedule, part of which I already spoiled.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Coming up over the week, there's no streams this weekend as Call of Cthulhu is still on break for the holidays. But coming up on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, we are on Changeling the Dreaming Stained Glass, Season 1, Episode 5. Yep, join myself and Mischievous Red over there, along with Maddox, our amazing storyteller for that game, and Ravnos Archon as the amazing and uncomparable Uncle Oski. And of course, we have Junie Von Esch as the Lady Redcap. And we have
Honey Badger. Her name is Honey Badger.
But she's a lady. She has title. And then we have Unconscious Celestial or Core as our satyr. And she's amazing. Oh my God. Satyr Party is coming up soon. So
Ain't
join
no
us.
Party like Satyr. Party like Satyr. Party don't
fucking
stop.
facts right there. Because she lives with a whole fucking crew of satyrs, and they're talking about having a party all together. That's going to be ridiculous. So yeah, join us Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern for that. And of course, as Shanky announced, Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, we will be back here out of character as ourselves, the players of this game, answering your questions about this season and our characters and potential plots that might be happening in season 2 and whatever else you want to ask.
And Kat going, nope, 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 nope.
There's a lot of Cat going nope because
Going, Rashad, what are you doing, man?
don't break my fucking armrest. Yeah. I just got the car. But but yeah. So join us Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern for the first season Q&A for Kansas City, A Domain Divided. And so that's going to be it for the week.
And if you're on our Discord, there's a very good chance that on New Year's Eve, we'll be doing a Zoom hangout because we haven't done one lately. And I know not everybody goes out and has plans. For those that don't have plans out on New Year's, join us on a Discord. Join us in the Zoom as we celebrate New Year's together because we're not going anywhere.
We're homebodies.
And there's a good chance Shanky will be drinking and might even sing by the end of the night. Who knows? It's New Year's. I do weird things on New Year's when I get drunk.
And Mama might spill port on herself and smell delicious.
Yep. That has happened. Trust me. Yep. So thank you all. And as we're going into the outro, first of all, let me go around. Ree, let everybody know what you got going on.
Sure. So, hello everyone. With the new year, over at Rerolls, we'll be bringing back. We'll finish our We Are Heroes stream, and we will be bringing back our next game. So, make sure to come check that out as we continue exploring another fantasy world. And I'm not going to reveal which game we're bringing back in the new year, but it should be exciting. It was always a fan favorite.
Lots of options. So many good games out there. Bo, what you got going on? I know you haven't posted your last.
No, yeah, I still need to post. I need to post the link to the new video, which will come in a couple days. But otherwise, nothing yet. New project coming in 2024 that still working out some plans for.
And Mischievous Red, Gwen over there, what you got going on?
Hi, yeah, I stream on my own channel at Mischievous Red. However, we're taking a break for the holidays. So I'll be back on the 7th. Where I'm doing basically trying to figure out what I want to do creatively. So right now we're working on writing. So join for that.
And again, I just want to say, I do thank the players. I know there's a lot of that's bullshit going on at this table at this point, but should be a fun story.
Oh no, there's just a lot of nope.
Should be a good story.
Not pushing that button. Nope.
For the new players, for the players that haven't been in a Shanky game before, welcome to Shankyville.
Mhm.
Population, fucked up.
Fucked up.
And as always, within these streams, I want to say, please take your mental health seriously and take the mental health of others seriously. Check in on those around you. Make sure they're okay. This is the holiday season. A lot of people are not okay, especially in the holiday season between it being winter and the holiday. So make sure they're okay. Sometimes it just takes a lifeline, a simple, are you okay? To help somebody out. And if you suffer from mental health issues like many of us out there do, please, the first thing I want you to do is reach out to your own support network. I know a lot of people feel they can't because of the stigma that's attached to mental health that honestly shouldn't be there, but it is what it is. If you don't feel you can reach out to your own support network or you don't feel you have one, in chat's a list of numbers you can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you can get the assistance you need. Because mental health is health, and while it's okay to not be okay, it's better if you get help to make you at least more okay. Mental health is an ongoing battle for a lot of people, and there's no way to ever fully clear all that up, but you can make yourself better. And that's what's important. And if you're watching this and you're watching it on YouTube, or if you're not in the US, go to findahelpline.com, put in your country of origin, and get support lines for your country to get the help you need. Okay, everybody, I mean this. I take it very seriously. And now I can turn it over to my wife for her portion of the outro.
Y'all already know what I'm going to say. Get your fucking vaccines for real. For real. Get your COVID shot or booster, whichever one you need, and get your flu shot, because both of those send people to the hospital and the ICU and stick them on ventilators, and people still die from those diseases. So please get your vaccine for those. Please take care of yourself physically as well as mentally. But I'm going to focus a little bit on the mental health, because your girl here suffers a lot in this time of year. Yeah. If you have midwinter blues, if you have seasonal affective disorder during this time of year, it can be this time of year or even in the summer, people can get it. Definitely get help if you need it. Also, I recommend giving yourself grace. If you just don't have the energy to do it all, that's okay. That's okay. And I'd like for you to consider trying, if you have the energy, to just do something that brings you joy. That can help you get through these short days. But we have passed the shortest day of the year. Days are going to start getting longer soon. We can make it through it. Said with love.
And I do thank everyone for coming. Please join us in the live Q&A. A lot of times spoilers come out at some point during the Q&A. I love to tease future storylines. So I do thank you all for coming.
He's worse about spoilers than I am.
Oh, yeah. And I do thank my players. I hope you're enjoying we'll find out during the cast Q&A, because that's when I like to ask what people think of the first season. So I do thank you all for coming. Good night, everybody.